Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another insightful episode of How to Launch Your Law Firm, a step-by-step guide to attract your first clients. And I just want to say a warm welcome to all our fabulous panelists. We have Zaina and we have Jessica. And we have a big surprise for you guys. If you're not have already seen the banners out, we have one of New York's finest, a super attorney, Mr. N.M. Gehi Esquire, joining us. Hi guys, how are y'all doing today?
Good, thank you for having me here.
Wonderful. You, Jessica?
Yes, happy to be here and back again.
That is fabulous. Okay, so we all know why we are here today, and we want to get those attorneys looking to to launch their law firm. We want to offer them a step-by-step guide, and I don't think there is much of a guide out there. And that is why we have like the well-known attorney, Mr. Inham Gay, going to be speaking in a bit with us. There is going to be some cross questions. And we have Naba, a fabulous paralegal in the industry. And then obviously you, Jessica, one of the best in marketing. So we are going to cover some basic points on setting up your company. And, launching a law firm is a significant endeavor. And that requires, careful planning and execution. So I would just like to jump in a bit, and just throw a few questions around. Let's see how we can get about, on it. And some of these questions have come through from a few attorneys that I work with. Actually, I'm not going to mention any names, but they want to start their own practice and so on and so on. And one of the main things that I would like to discuss, or I would like you to touch point on, especially Jessica, is, how do they go about, defining their niche in their practice area? Did you get that?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, like how would they need to define their niche in their practice area?
Yes, so if they need to define their niche, they need to understand who they're really talking to. Down to the demographics, to the age, and even to some of the psychographics, so that they will understand if they want to be, if their practice area is personal injury, they need to know what ages usually are the scope for this one, and if they're into immigration, they need to know what's the scope of the usual applicants and those who need it. So they have to be very specific with the details, down to the personal ones like the demographic and the psychographic.
Right. So I can something further to this, Mike, if I have your permission.
No problem. Go ahead.
All right. So now you're dealing with a personal injury lawyer, correct? Let me just take this forward from here, Jessica. Now, the niche for a personal injury lawyer is to see of exactly what am I looking at. They need to look at exactly what is my focus. So there are different types of personal injury lawyers. Some are those who just focus on medical malpractice. And others are those who look into construction accidents. And others are those who take up every kind of personal injury case, right from slip and falls to basically construction accidents to negligence cases to medical malpractice. So now that is known as a focused approach by a personal injury lawyer. Now, the hardest thing which I've seen about personal injury lawyers is to make sure that they deal with the right social media company. Now, why? A common misconception that lawyers have is that social media is simple and it's very easy, and you just go on Google, on Facebook, you blast it, you're done. I just want personal injury lawyers, someone who can call himself as a law office technology kind of person who, professional who's done it for nearly 20 years, that's my background, is that the most important thing is to define your audience. And after you, so I don't know what's the sound coming up. So there's some kind of sound, but I do apologize for that. So let me mute if needed. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Just give me a moment.
Sure, not a problem.
Yes, it's gone now. So sorry about that. So the thing is that after they define the audience, now you're dealing with social media. Social media is a huge animal. So the biggest mistake that social media does, I'm talking about professionals do, when it comes to marketing for personal injury lawyers in particular, is that they don't know what should be the targeted audience for the lawyer. Let me basically dumb it down as much as possible here. You're dealing with a personal injury lawyer. He's looking at hospitals. He's looking at accidents. So that is the number one thing he's looking for. And then he's looking for medical malpractice cases. He's looking for construction accidents. Now, how does a good social media company focus? So a good social media company will focus in making sure that this particular personal injury lawyer is targeted in all these demographics of construction workers. Second, you're looking at basically the motor vehicle department that kind of basically addresses that there was an accident over here. So those things are possible. Thirdly, with doctors, with hospital staff, and plus Facebook can also be a benefit to target the general public. Now, what do most social media marketers do, Mubin? They'll just put you up on Facebook. They'll say, listen, you got these 100,000 hits. You may get 1 million hits. But what was the net result matters. So a good social media company is a company that knows how to deep dive into specifics. And, if you don't deep dive into the specifics, the law firm can lose a lot of money without getting the proper leads. You may get shitty leads. And you know what some social media companies do? They're going to tell you, hey, listen, you got 2 million visitors. Oh, you're clapping. Thank you so much. What was the end result? The end result matters whether you're targeting the appropriate audience by basically going to those particular people who are actually in need of your services. As I mentioned, like construction workers, that is in New York, it's under Section 240 of the labor law, of the tort law in New York. Then you're looking at negligence cases, but in exactly you're dealing with people who have engaged into negligence. That's number two. That for negligence, you're looking at hospital, you're looking at nurses, you're looking at doctors, you're looking at the general public. That's how exactly a niche should be formulated by a personal injury law. I hope I answered the question properly for you. You see
Yes, no, you actually did.
We got them into the right territory. That is known as social media marketing.
No, you are correct. I think in our previous webinar, we did cover targeting an audience. And thank you for touching on that point again. It's a refresher to all the other attorneys out there watching us. And just while we're touching on that.
And half the lawyers don't get any business because the target
yes.
at the back doesn't know a damn about the law. Look at that difference here. Now you are, like, I'll just tell you my background here, because I'm a social media person too. I'm the founder of My Legal Software. I would rather prefer sitting on Google AdWords and I would look at the exact ones. Now, what would a regular social media guy do? He's going to use tools like SEMrush, HRM, copy them and put them up. That is not customizing the campaign at all. Absolutely no. Customization needs legal knowledge.
And that is why we at My Legal Software have legal experts, legal advisors, even attorneys that work with us within our industry. And that is what we do
when we create the campaign for the personal injury lawyer. And if the lawyer is located in Florida or he's in Alaska, we tell him, sir, these are the keywords which we think are going to help you. He becomes our team member and we play with him and we tell him this is what we are looking at. This is the difference. And I can assure you with the highest level of confidence, not many people can do that. It's a very difficult art to do, to get them right on track. Of course, no one can guarantee you results, but it is a time-oriented approach.
No, definitely, you are correct. And just as we're speaking, there's a message that actually came up from one of the attorneys, and they actually want me to ask you, like, at what point did you start incorporating technology into your legal practice, and how has it influenced your firm's operations?
All right. So let me make it simple. I started my practice in the year 2001 with a hole in the wall, more like a solo lawyer. And then I slowly started growing. And then the year 2007, I thought it's getting a little overwhelming for me. So I started developing my own software. I have a background in computer science, in law, and in media studies. So I started coming up with the first version of a legal software. Then after that, I used to have problems with deadline management. I used to have problems with missing case notes. I used to have employees leaving, so I didn't know head or tail where the person left. So what I did is that I put all my issues together. Then I said, I'm going to work on this over the years. And then I came up with a plan. And, we worked with with a team of programmers, and we were able to put as many pieces of the puzzle together. And that's how my law firm grew. And we were able to grow more and more people. And from 20 people from COVID or 2025, we have to 120 people working for us all over the world today. In 2 years.
That is fabulous. In 2 years. I mean, Look at that growth. I mean, if the attorneys out there actually watching and listening to this, I mean, y'all can actually achieve this.
And it's not difficult, Mubin. And then tell you one problem which lawyers have, including people who work with me too. We're all busy professionals. And unfortunately, lawyers are very good people, most of them. And they are unsung heroes for me because I love lawyers. Even if I was not a lawyer, I would definitely have a lot of praise for lawyers because they really do work hard. And by the way, Mubin, it's one of the hardest professions to work in. And I'm a live example of this. And people have this unfortunate, thankless attitude towards lawyers that really needs to change. And lawyer has to take a lot of headaches from the judge, from his opposing counsel, and plus from his client. Imagine the amount of headaches you're dealing with. It's hard for that one person to kind of. So what happens in these cases? Lawyers forget to integrate technology. And that makes their life very hard. So it becomes hard because now, for example, in our office, we don't take phone calls here. See, technology. We integrated my legal software with a VoIP solution. VoIP, for people who don't know, is voice over internet protocol, which means your phone system, we got it integrated with my legal software. And through that, you don't have to worry. Our external team, which means exactly a virtual team, is taking the call over there, answering them. And if they want to reach me, I tell them to text me because people don't like to email, text me. And that text even comes on my cell phone. And I don't have to worry about it. This is the level of technology people have to achieve. And we can even tell lawyers they can come and take a look at our offices of how high tech we are. One common question I get is, Mr. Gai, since you have these foreign teams picking up your calls, or you have someone sitting in Florida taking up your call, you have someone who's sitting in Connecticut taking your call, what happens when the court is calling you? The good news is that we have a loudspeaker in the office. When there's a call from the court, all the lawyers pick up the phone. That is better and far more efficient than having your one secretary not being on the desk and not picking up the call. Level of technology. And with due respect, when you look at online legal influencers, they're only talking about a particular area. Now there's this new thing. Everyone wants to just talk about ChatGPT. Forget it, folks. There's a lot more than ChatGPT that you need to learn. ChatGPT is just a small little drop in the ocean for people to learn. Because the bottom line is, if I have to lecture about technology, I can talk to you guys for hours and hours and hours. And because it's like what the media wants to show you. Now they just want to show ChatGPT so that becomes a bigger and a bigger and a bigger company. That is great and well and dandy. But how about your basics? Basics means your deadline management, basically your court hearings. That cannot be an AI-oriented approach because remember, ChatGPT by itself failed recently before the courthouse. Wrong case laws came up. So end of the day, life cannot finish and end with ChatGPT, folks.
Most definitely.
So
And just to touch, and just to touch point, you mentioned, you emphasized on social media actually excelled your business to go to where you want to be right now. Another attorney Smith, just sent through a message and it actually said here to the marketing lady, Jessica. They want to know, how do they develop a strong online presence?
Okay,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
sorry, if Jessica, I'll take the question first, then you can answer. Jessica is an expert in that. So she'll be talking a lot about that particular issue. So number one is that you have to make sure that you work with people who know what they're doing. People who give a proper questionnaire to make you understand, like how Jessica does it. Like, have a questionnaire, have a meeting with them, set your goals with the marketing person and work with that manager. Work with them, because if you don't work with them, there'll be a disconnect. Now, Jessica, the floor is on your hand.
Yes, sir. I fully agree with that. If you don't know your end goal, may it be you want to increase lead generation, or you just want to increase engagement because you want to push through with your thought leadership. There are different goals in social media. So if you want a strong online presence, you have to be clear on that. So if you want to push your presence on a certain platform because your market or your target client is more present in that specific platform, you have to know how to comply to their metrics, to their rules, because if you don't, then you definitely get problems in terms of pushing content, of being credible, and also but regardless of platform, we have to make sure that our website is very much optimized, because aside from the platforms that we are pushing our presence into, people are going to search for us. They are going to look how credible and what's a good presentation of all the cases, of all your portfolio, of all your client feedback. So definitely, you also have to invest on SEO at the end of the day, regardless of the platform. And that really pushes you with your strong online presence. Right, Mo?
Yes, that is actually quite correct. And everything comes down to actually what you just mentioned of it. And I think to the attorneys out there, if you actually want to find out a bit more, I mean, we are just a phone call away, 934 Law Tech, or you can drop Jessica a message directly. I mean, it's Jessica@mylegalsoftware.com, and Jessica with a G, not with a J. And then
So
obviously it's
Mike, you can move a bit so they can see your number. You're actually blocking the screen.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. When we get this in depth into our conversation, I want to come into the screen. So, all right. There is one for actually Zaina. Zaina, we actually need to find out. We're going through all these strategies, all these setups, how to set the business up as a solo attorney. There are a lot of legal structures and registrations involved as well. Could you just enlighten us a bit on that?
Certainly. So it's very important to first discover what kind of firm you want to set up, whether that would be a sole proprietorship, whether you're interested in a partnership. Do you have other attorneys who want to set up a firm together? Is it going to be a limited liability partnership? Or maybe a professional corporation, right? So you register your business with the appropriate government agencies. You make sure you have all your licenses, certifications, authorizations in place. So all that legal and administrative headache is kind of out of the way, and you're good to go from an initiation perspective. And then you can take your firm from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me add something to this. When you start your practice, incorporation is a must. And after that, the most important thing that you need to do is, if you're a smart lawyer and if you want to grow, develop a very, very, very good website. Rule number one. And My Legal Software can help you out there. And because that's how you create your brand presence from day one. Because you may do everything, you may get the mistake that people do. They spend a lot of money on furniture in the beginning. That is not that important. You need to have good furniture. You can go to IKEA and buy it. make
People don't know about your firm. No one's going to see the furniture, correct?
right. So the first thing is that your brand presence come with. Have some decent furniture. Decent is the word. Don't go kind of basically crazy after buying like top-notch furniture. Start small. Then after that, you invest in 2 or 3 things. The right software. Why? Because when the client comes in, and if you're tech savvy, which means if you're pretty decent in tech, you send in this wonderful kind of text message. So the client is impressed. Oh my God, you started my case and I'm getting a text message right here. Excellent. So you won his heart right there. And tell them next time when you reach me, I use this particular company, my legal software. You can text me, I can give an update. So you don't have to call me. So you avoided a headache for yourself as well as for the client. Now you're done with that part of it. Second thing is invest money in social media marketing. Very important for you because everything is your online presence, how your social media company displays you. That is very important. The biggest mistake that people do, they think, oh, okay, I started my firm. I'm going to go on Facebook and do this. You're not going to be successful because there are many other lawyers out there who are investing heavily on social media and you're not going to get the visibility that's needed. Or it may take forever to build a practice. Third important thing for you to make a note is to make sure that you hire the right staff. And staffing can be a big headache these days. And that's another problem. And the fourth thing is, how do you have an integrated phone system with your software so that you can run it flawlessly on the cloud? So even if you're taking a vacation in Hawaii, you should be able to run your practice on your phone and you should know what is going on. This is what I do when it comes to technology in my office.
Okay, actually, thank you for that, Mr. Gay, because there's something that you just mentioned now, staff. What I would actually like to find out from you is, could you share some insight into your approach to recruiting competent staff and paralegals for your team?
See, firstly, we are very blessed with some very good, people working for us. But we have a system in place. If you look at most law firms in New York City or in the United States of America, and the problem is not with the law firm, the problem is with the profession. The problem is with the legal profession because the actual legal system of the United States expects a lot from lawyers. They expect lawyers to comply on a timely basis. They expect lawyers to take the phone calls. Someone is controlling us, correct? It's a system that controls us. And what happens because of this bigger umbrella, when you're forced to do things, but then one lawyer is supposed to take the phone calls, call the court back within 5 hours, which is kind of insane. They need to change the system a bit and give a breathing space to lawyers too, which doesn't happen. Thirdly, they will sanction you, they'll dismiss your case. That is the common attitude of a lot of courts in the country. Not from some of the judges are very nice, they're very understanding, but a lot of them say, you know what, I don't care. So now the lawyer gets burnt out. He's going to fight with this paralegal. He's going to tell the paralegal why the hell you did finish it up. Now that happens when the paralegal in the firm doesn't have a backup person. So what we did in our practice is that, take an example, we have this fantastic paralegal. We created a system of having our paralegal becoming the boss of a virtual team that is, in a foreign country or in the United States, depending on what we needed. Now that virtual paralegal, and we turned it into a 24/7 system. You're going to love this movie. So for example, now my paralegal goes home at 7 p.m. So we found a country wherein exactly the paralegal starts working when it's early morning. So what they do while we are sleeping, they finish up the work and the prices are very reasonable and the work is top notch. Top notch. With due respect, at times it's even better than what, people like Zaina will tell you. That is better than even what the labor that you'll find in the market. So dependence goes down on them. Our paralegals are happy. Lawyers are happy. We are happy. And it turns out to be a win-win. Of course, you do not live in a perfect world, but we were able to get to 90% of what we wanted. And they do all the briefs. They do everything for us. Then finally, what we do when we come in the morning through my legal software, we look at the brief, we correct it, we mail it out. That is how law practice should be run.
24-hour cycle.
Yeah, but I'm sleeping, they are up, we are sleeping. Client is happy, everyone is happy, and it's a win-win. And also,
Oh, that is
the
fabulous.
other problem with lawyers get, which is unfortunately, for all my wonderful lawyers that I have a high regard for the profession. Even if you're going to do the best job for your client, there are some people who are going to write bad reviews about you. And so for that, I was very happy to use my legal software. So in that, there is a system that from your good clients, you can get good reviews. So at least your ratings go up. That's one great feature which I like about my legal software.
Wow, that is some insightful insights.
Because I have to also keep up to the CRM. I have to make sure that my reviews look good. And not many softwares have those kind of features in them. And this is one reason I like it, and I use it.
Yeah, I
And
want
you
to
know
add
what?
something to that.
Every lawyer should take his own independent approach. And they should, if they are comfortable, they should, deep dive into it further.
Yes, I agree with that very much. So you see, my legal software is not just for digital marketing. It has an automation that helps with the operational side of navigating, working through your law firm. And if you're just starting out, this is like a counterpart of a lot of staff. But because of the technology, or because of my legal software, we get to integrate a lot of the steps and the workflows faster and with a more reliable human-led technology. And with that, it's easier for the paralegal to monitor things. It's easier to delegate, to assign, to track, to monitor, to measure. Because we also have that audit feature that's available for the managing partner or the one who heads the operation. So they could see in terms of attendance, in terms of someone putting in all the tasks completed and those with a lot of pending, they have a visibility of that. And that is something that you cannot just expect from non-automated systems. So with my legal software, that's really something that's right now, I guess it's not being appreciated, maybe underappreciated for a little bit. But if you look into it, it saves you a lot of costs, gets a lot more things done at the amount of time that you need it. So you get to meet your deadlines timely, you get to finish everything that you need for your, as mentioned by Mr. Gehi about court cases and all the preparations without hassle. And at the same time, you don't need to train more staff with this, because if you found your paralegal, you found your staff that's very reliable, the software is going to really empower them. It's their super boost, it's their superpower. So that's my legal software. It's not just digital marketing, there's a lot more to it.
No, correct in actually saying that. You are correct. And I mean, when it comes down to the software itself, and you covered a lot of points, but just for the attorneys out there, I want to say it again. You need your case and matter management solved. My legal software has it for you. You need document management. My legal software has it for you. You don't want to miss a deadline. Calendar and task management. My legal software has it for you. Client management. Yes, my legal software will cover that as well. And one of the most interesting and fascinating things about the software is our communication tools that have been installed on it. And having dial pad integrated, and it's widely used amongst all attorneys right now. We have the Zoom portals, secure messaging, communication tools, just like how Mr. Gehi said, his cell phone, that's how he receives a message. You want to send a message to your client from the system, send a message to your client. They can pick it up on their cell phones and they can view the client portals. There is so much to actually work with on the system. And the interface is seamless, it's amazing. And to actually get a demonstration on this, guys, if you are watching, it's mylegalsoftware.com. You can reach us there, or mike.mo@mylegalsoftware.com or 934 Lawtech. Give us a call and we'll be glad to sit down with you and give you a demonstration.
Quick thing,
And
I think since Zena is one of your users, of my legal software, she wants to talk a little bit about basically what she likes about the software, because she uses both of your portals. One is the GP speed and the immigration speed. So Zena, can you tell us, because you have hands-on experience, and you need to look into that, and if you could discuss that a bit, that'll be very helpful for people who are using different softwares or they want to switch over.
Yes, I strongly agree with everything Mr. Gehi and Mo have been sharing so far. And my legal software is very user-friendly. I'm on it 8 to 9 hours a day, every single day. I work 6 days a week, and it's very integrated. You can, like they said, you can reach out to your clients directly. They can access their portals. We use it for our mail system, whatever we receive from the immigration court. I specialize in immigration law specifically, but I also work on family law cases, particularly divorce. And yes, it's incredibly user-friendly. We make case notes. Everyone is updated on everything that's going on a particular case, because like Mr. Gehi mentioned, we have multiple caseworkers and I'm managing them. We're all in touch with everything that's going on with the particular client, whether they came in, the accounting feature is in there to show you what the outstanding balance is. You can bill hourly based on all the work you've completed on a particular case. You know who the attorney is responsible for a case. There's an events feature for any hearings there might be, or whether we have RFEs to respond to when it comes to immigration law. So it's incredibly integrated, and it's just a one-stop solution for everything I need in my day-to-day work. And it's so good to use and so easy that it took me not very long at all to fully train myself, and now I get to train others. And,
yeah, so Zena, but one thing I noticed now, first, let me give some disclaimers very clearly. Zena and I are speaking on behalf of Gay and Associates, which is a different company altogether.
yes,
It's a different company, and any advice given on this program is general in nature and does not apply to any specific facts or circumstances. And we are two different companies. One is Gay and Associates, but that's where Zena and I are talking from. And Mike Mo and Ia Jessica are from My Legal Software.
yes, I'm purely talking from a practice perspective
Yes.
as a paralegal at a law firm in the
Right.
United States.
So let's clarify that for disclaimer purposes, so there is no kind of confusion between apples and oranges here. Now, another thing which I want to say, which is critically important here, is that you should be able to access your data whenever you want, wherever you want. And you also have to make sure that you go for a program which is not in the market. And this is what I've seen in MILS. The biggest difference I've seen, Mike, in this is that you can even track when your employee comes in and leaves. See, this is not a feature you'll find anywhere. Then you're looking at handling your CRM, which means you can get more clients over here through this feature in MILS, which we were talking about. And you can also have updates wherein your next client's extensions are due, so that you can make more money. You can be in touch with the client like Facebook. There are features in that, like, very similar to that. So that helps me to increase my referral base a lot. And of course, for deadlines, as Zena said, it's unbelievably good in that regard. So on the whole, I think it's a pretty good system. But the only thing which I want lawyers to be patient about, there will be a learning curve. Initially, you may say, oh my God, this is a little too much for me. Because when you have a good program, it takes time to learn. And if you want to go for a good program, look at LinkedIn, they have courses. Look at Google, they have courses now. So you have to be ready to learn if you want to basically build a practice. And by integrating My Legal Software, by making sure, because My Legal Software also helped me to have virtual teams integrated with this platform, which is not found in many softwares. So virtual means your employee might be working in Switzerland, and you can just give them access right away, and he works with you right away. He can start working with you the next day. And then he does all your work, he takes your calls. Now, this is where the integration, the phone calls comes on with My Legal Software. And I haven't seen anything so far that has a complete wipe VoIP, and the legal software kind of integration part of it.
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, with all the features that you mentioned, I mean, I was just going to cover that in a bit, but thank you for actually covering and speaking more about it. Because there's something that you mentioned, a key point, checking on your employees, how they clock in, how they clock out, how they work. That falls under time tracking and billing. And you know, My Legal Software is an all-in-one solution. Not only when it comes to the software, the CRM, it comes down to our social media, web development, our entire marketing. If you need to have a one-on-one with a particular person for a particular strategy that you have in mind, feel free, give us a call. We'll be happy to answer any question you might have for us. Jessica, I just wanted to just touch on one more point with you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Would that be fine?
Bring it on.
Okay. You know, I don't know if we actually covered this. How do you develop a strong online presence?
Well, yeah, developing a strong online presence is having omni-channel strategies. So it's being present in all the necessary platforms and bringing in the information the way they should be delivered. Because the trick here is you don't want to violate data privacy laws, but at the same time, you want to sound credible. You want to have the right information to describe the cases or your wins, your milestones as a law firm and as a lawyer. So it really boils down to a great strategy, because if you just put yourself out there and then you're not even thinking about branding, like the right colors, the right font, nothing's consistent, your keywords are everywhere, you don't even know what hashtags to use, it's going to be very hard to have a very strong online presence, because it's like building a body, but then the parts don't come together because they're missing links. So these intricacies are very, it has a lot of learning curve. I'd say you could DIY this, any profession actually. But of course, if you're very, very busy doing your court cases, you're talking to your client, you're trying to come up with your strategy for your case, and then suddenly you have to learn about marketing, that's a lot, right? So that's why us here at My Legal Software would like to take that off of their plate and help them out in coming up with the right strategy and the right tone, the right messaging, and it will be adaptive depending on the platform. Because platforms like Instagram would need the content to be square, and Facebook would need it differently, and TikTok would need it differently. YouTube would need it differently. So we are going to take care of those for them. They'll just need to tell us what kind of message they want to get across, what kind of credibility, and what are the details that we can work with. And of course, we're also guided by lawyers at our end to make sure that we don't violate any of the laws relating to content, especially now there's like a cyber libel. There's a lot that's also surrounding the digital space, also with AI and copyright and a lot of those. So we want to take that mental load off of the lawyer, off of the law firm, and we will integrate that into what they want to happen, and that will build their strong online presence.
Thank you so much, Mike, for having me today. And I have another meeting to leave. But on the whole,
Sure.
I must say that I'm pretty much happy with the social media marketing of it. As people can see, look at our website, kehilaw.com, which was developed by My Legal Software. And I think great job. And we are very happy with the site. And I think thank you so much. And I think
thanks so much for joining us today.
Like to continue.
Yeah, I think I just have one more question for Jessica, and to the attorneys out there. You can, like as I mentioned, you can give us a call, 934-LawTech, or you can drop us an email, mike.mo@mylegalsoftware.com or jessica@mylegalsoftware.com. So Jessica, there was something that you mentioned on the marketing, TikTok. I mean, I've seen a bit of a trend coming along with TikTok for lawyers. Could you just tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so TikTok is an emerging platform, and you may not believe this, but it is not just for Gen Z. It's now um, coping across all ages. Anyone who can have a phone, who can have a TikTok on their app, is already a market of TikTok, and there's a lot of information that can be shared there. And the thing about TikTok is the content is mostly more relatable. It's less formal, but at the same time, it's still professional. So how do you meet halfway for those messaging where you're a bit laid back, you're more relatable, but at the same time, you have to be very professional. You have to be very mindful. And so with TikTok, it's really a very good platform to establish your relatability, so that when your target client or someone who's looking for a legal advice would very much understand you, and less legal jargons or legal terminologies, because you're more conversational there. So probably a lot of businesses would think, or a lot of law firms would think like, oh, well, TikTok, that's too laid back. But wait till you see a lot of the law firms are already there. So if you're not there yet, well, you have a lot to catch up. And that's something that we at My Legal Software can help you with.
Yes, that is the biggest trend right now. And I think TikTok has influenced the world to where it is right now. I think every person you look at is on TikTok. And with these attorneys coming up and popping up for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, just with a brief introduction, and the amount of views and interactions they get is fabulous. And I'm sure just by 1 million views, they're getting at least 5% of clients coming towards them. That's a lot of return on investment, or return on no investment. I think that's correct. Jessica, I know we up for time. I know you have just one more thing you want to mention to the viewers out there.
Yes. So for those who are watching us, we're actually on various platforms right now. This is not something we always give out, but for the viewers out there, as long as just message us on the platform that you're viewing us, maybe Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, LinkedIn, message us, and we are going to give you your free digital media audit. And this is not just one platform. This is several platforms. And if you have a website, we're going to give you your website. And we're going to do an audit on the numbers, and even suggest a few keywords. You know what? If you're going to drop on a meeting with us, we're going to share some of the strategy, just so you understand where you're at, where you can be, with where you want to go.
Okay, so seeing that you are giving something for free, I think I would like to hop in on that before we leave. Before I say thank you to everyone, so for whoever will be joining us, setting up that demo, that meeting with us, and you don't have a website, you don't have any social media, the normal going rate is $1,300. Anyone that sets up a demo with us, and this is valid, and I'm doing it now, Jessica, I hope you don't mind, up until Labor's Day, I will do a website for you and 2 social media handles. All right, obviously they would be your monthly management fee, but the initial setup, just to get you started with case management software, that you'll get free for 3 months, $599. And remember, you only heard that here at My Legal Software. So to everyone watching, I want to say thank you for having us in your homes, your offices, and to the ladies over here, thank you so much for joining us and making My Legal Software successful on our webinars. To everyone out there,